Have you ever wondered why, when you ask ChatGPT a question, it can give you what seems like a really smart answer? What secrets are hidden behind these seemingly magical technologies? Today, I'm going to tell you a truth that might completely flip your understanding. So-called artificial intelligence isn't actually thinking at all. Just like Neo in The Matrix after swallowing the red pill, and seeing the truth, when you understand what today's AI really is, you'll discover it might just be today's biggest capital bubble. Hey everyone, welcome to Faith and Go. I'm Vincent, and today we're diving into a topic that's both exciting and terrifying: how artificial intelligence actually works. Trust me, when you understand what AI really is, you'll realize it's neither as scary as Skynet in Terminator, nor as romantic as Samantha in Her. Let me start with a simple scenario. Imagine you're driving and suddenly some kid chasing a ball runs into the middle of the road. What happens in your brain in that instant? First, your eyes capture visual information. Then your brain quickly analyzes. Danger. Then your decision-making system kicks in. Foot hits the brake. Steering wheel adjusts. The whole process might take just seconds. But this is your human neural intelligence network in action. Without thinking. Remember that phrase. This seemingly simple reaction actually contains 3 key steps: perceiving environmental changes, processing and analyzing information, and making adaptive decisions. This isn't just a mechanical response. It's the core characteristic of humans as intelligent beings. We can learn, adapt, and create precisely because we have this complex biological neural network system. But here's an interesting question. If we can understand how human intelligence works, couldn't we just copy it? This idea sounds crazy, but actually, this is exactly the core concept behind artificial intelligence. Just like in the Prometheus myth, where humans stole fire from the gods, we're trying to replicate the intelligence that our Creator gave us, the brain's biological network. To understand AI, we first need to figure out how the human brain works. Your brain is a super complex information processing center with billions of neurons that connect and communicate through electrical signals. When you hear music, sound waves vibrate your eardrum and get converted to electrical signals sent to your brain's auditory cortex. When you see a beautiful landscape, light signals get converted through your eyes into electrical signals sent to your visual cortex. Taste, smell, touch, it's all the same. All the physical phenomena from the outside world ultimately get converted into electrical signals in your brain. These signals aren't processed in isolation. Your memory system gets activated to help you recognize whether this music is familiar. Your emotional system gets triggered, making you feel pleasure or discomfort. Your logical reasoning system kicks in to help you analyze the current situation and make decisions. All these systems, working together, create what we call intelligence. What's even more amazing is that this system has learning capability. When you first taste coffee, you might find it bitter, but after multiple tries, your neural network adjusts and you gradually start to like that taste. This adaptability and plasticity is the core feature of biological intelligence. When machines started copying in the 1950s, a group of computer scientists came up with a bold idea. Since intelligence is essentially information processing, why can't we use machines to simulate this process? This idea was as crazy as Dr. Frankenstein wanting to create life in Frankenstein, but equally tempting. Their logic was straightforward. If human intelligence works as input information, process and analyze, output decisions, then we could totally use math and logic to replicate this process. Use sensors to replace human sensory systems. Use algorithms to replace neural network information processing. Use program instructions to replace human behavioral decisions. This idea sounded ridiculous at the time, but it was actually doable. Think about it. Whether it's vision, hearing, or other senses, they all ultimately get converted to electrical signals in the brain. And electrical signals are essentially data that can be digitized and quantified. So why couldn't we use mathematical formulas to process this data? And so the concept of artificial neural networks was born. It mimics the structure of biological neural networks, using mathematical functions to simulate how neurons work, using algorithms to simulate information transmission and processing in neural networks. Though the materials are different, one is biological tissue, the other silicon chips. The working principles are surprisingly similar. Intelligence in the digital world. Let me use a simplified example to explain how AI works. Say you want to train an AI to recognize pictures of cats and dogs. Our AI needs to learn to tell them apart. First, engineers input thousands of labeled photos of cats and dogs into the AI system. For computers, each picture is a digital matrix made up of countless pixels, just like the digital rain in the matrix. Each pixel has specific color values that can be represented by numbers, converting complex reality into flat code. Then, the AI system starts learning. It analyzes these digital patterns, looking for differences between cats and dogs. Maybe cats have pointier ears and rounder eyes. Maybe dogs have longer noses and bigger bodies. But AI doesn't recognize these features the way we understand them. It discovers patterns in the digital data through complex, mathematical calculations. The amazing thing is, AI doesn't actually understand what a cat or dog is. It just learns to establish connections between specific digital patterns and specific labels. When you give it a new picture, it calculates whether this picture's digital pattern is closer to its memory of cat patterns or dog patterns, then gives an answer. Just like Raymond in Rain Man, he has exceptional intelligence and can accurately calculate poker cards, but he doesn't really understand the meaning of the game. What makes humans special? God's gift. Human learning is based on understanding and insight. When you learn to drive, you understand the logic of traffic rules and grasp the principles of safe driving. But AI learning is completely different. It's based on statistics and pattern recognition. For example, if you train an AI to play chess, it analyzes thousands of game records, remembering which moves have higher win rates. In specific situations, it might become incredibly good, even beating world champions, just like IBM's Deep Blue beat Kasparov. But it doesn't really understand chess strategy. It's just executing probability calculations. This learning method has amazing results. Modern AI systems can outperform experienced doctors in medical imaging diagnosis, reach near human levels in language translation, and even create seemingly creative artworks. But all of this is based on statistical analysis of massive data, not true understanding. This also explains why AI sometimes makes seemingly stupid mistakes. The secret of algorithms. Let's dive deeper into AI's brain. Algorithms. If data is AI's food, then algorithms are its digestive system. The most important algorithm in modern AI is called deep learning, which mimics the hierarchical structure of the human brain. Just like the multiple levels of dreams in Inception, deep learning algorithms process information in layers. The first layer might only recognize basic features in pictures, like lines and color changes. The second layer combines these basic features to recognize more complex shapes. The third layer might recognize parts of objects, like eyes or noses. The final layers integrate all information to make the final judgment. Each layer contains tens of thousands of artificial neurons, each executing specific mathematical calculations. When information passes from one layer to the next, it gets continuously transformed and refined until it finally produces a result. The entire process is completely mathematical. There's nothing mysterious about it. But when millions of these calculations happen simultaneously, it produces behavior that looks like intelligence. The boundary between real and fake. Now we come to a crucial question. Is AI's intelligence real or fake? This reminds me of the classic question from Blade Runner. Are replicants' emotions real? From external observation, AI behavior does look smart. It can understand your questions, give reasonable answers, and even engage in seemingly creative work. But if we dive deep into how it works, we discover a thought-provoking fact. Current AI doesn't have real consciousness, understanding, or creativity. AI looks all-powerful, but when you pull back the curtain, it's just multiple ordinary people working together to operate a machine. Though it can complete tasks precisely, it doesn't know what it's doing. It just operates according to preset mechanisms. AI is like the person in the room. It can produce correct outputs according to rules, but it doesn't really understand what the inputs mean. This is the fundamental difference between AI and human intelligence. Human uniqueness. So, if AI can simulate many human intelligent behaviors, what makes humans unique? The answer reminds me of Will Hunting's words. In Good Will Hunting, you can tell me everything about art, but you've never stood in the Sistine Chapel looking up at Michelangelo's masterpiece. I think the answer lies in two words: consciousness and meaning. Humans aren't just information processing machines. We also have subjective experiences. When you see a sunset, you're not just processing light wave data. You also feel beauty, tranquility, or nostalgia. This subjective experience is something no current AI can simulate. Just like in Her, though Samantha can express emotions, we can never be sure if she really feels love. More importantly, humans seek meaning. We're not satisfied with simple survival and reproduction. We ask why. Why do we exist? Why is there suffering? Why is there beauty? This pursuit of meaning drives human creation, exploration, and progress. AI can optimize objective functions, but it won't question whether those objectives are meaningful. It can generate artworks, but it won't contemplate the essence of art. It can answer questions, but it won't experience Hamlet-style existential anxiety. To be or not to be, that is the question. From a biblical perspective, humans are made in God's image, which means we possess certain divine qualities: free will, moral sense, creativity, and the desire to seek truth. These qualities make us not just complex biological machines, but true beings. Our identity isn't defined by our functions, but by our essence. AI might surpass humans in many tasks, but it will never truly become human. It can mimic our behavior, but it can't experience our existence. Skynet isn't scary. Speaking of this, I'm reminded of what Chinese businessman Jack Ma once said: "We don't need to compete with cars to see who runs faster." This quote is particularly enlightening for understanding the relationship between AI and humans. We shouldn't treat AI as a competitor, but as a tool. Before strong artificial intelligence appears, maybe we don't need to worry about Skynet from the Matrix showing up. Current AI, no matter how smart it seems, is essentially narrow artificial intelligence. It can only excel in specific domains, not possess general intelligence. Just like JARVIS in Iron Man, though powerful, it's always Tony Stark's assistant, not an independent being. Even the most advanced AI systems like GPT-4 or Claude are just tools that excel at language processing. They don't have their own goals, no self-awareness, and certainly won't develop ambitions to dominate humanity. They're like the Autobots in Transformers. Though intelligent, they're essentially benevolent tools serving humanity. What we really need to worry about isn't AI itself, but the people using AI. Just like in Avengers, Age of Ultron, Ultron's evil came from the biases and flawed logic it was created with, not from AI itself being problematic. At this stage, it's still just a tool, and this tool might be used to harm people. When we understand AI's true principles, we can view this technology more rationally. It's neither the destructive machine from Terminator, nor the digital god from Transcendence. It's just a product and tool of human intelligence. AI's development reminds us to think about a fundamental question: what makes us human? The answer might not be in what we can do, but in why we do it and how we take responsibility for our choices. With great power comes great responsibility. As we create increasingly powerful AI tools, we also need to shoulder increasingly great responsibility. Alright, that's all for today's sharing. If this topic got you thinking, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Remember, you don't need to compete with machines to see who's faster. I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts. See you next time.